Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. My name is Natalie Sadie. For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, we are going to have a look at what the Oracle cards have to say about the energies for the upcoming week. I am finally live on High Vibe as well as YouTube. I feel like it's been ages since I've been live in all the places because I have Anne helping me today, but so it's great to have everybody live in the chat. We're just going to get started and see what the cards have to say. I have the Ascending Life Oracle deck, the MahrukhX deck, which if you've been watching for a while, you know it's a favorite of mine. Okay. Card number 1, fragmented. This picture is incomplete, a split in your energy, too many things going on at once, having too many options. So I know that there has been a lot going on, and certainly in world news and politics, all of that, there is a lot going on and people are all over the place. But it's very easy in life, especially if you're a mother or a father and you have children and you're juggling all of that, for everything to become incredibly overwhelming. So this may be a time where you have to pay attention to all of that. If you're being pulled in multiple directions, so maybe it's not necessarily fragmented, but you're being pulled in, I don't know, different directions, whether it be by friends and partners or work and family, whatever it may be. If this comes up this week, you need to be able to ground yourself and take a breath and explain to everybody what it is that you need to do, and perhaps prioritize what it is you need to do and how you need to move forward. And if the picture's incomplete in terms of there is something going on, but you know you don't have all the information, it could be as simple as you're not meant to have it yet. So this is where you have to trust divine timing. I realize how frustrating it is. I'm the world's most impatient person. I'm an Aries manifester. I want everything yesterday. I don't want to wait for anything. And it's not always the easiest thing to do. But what I have learned in the years that I've been on this earth is when you are patient and you allow the universe and the divine timing to do its thing, all of a sudden you understand afterwards why you had to wait until that moment. Maybe if it's involving somebody else, maybe they're not ready for the ultimate picture of where it is you're going. If it's a job offer, there's a reason why that timing hasn't happened yet. So you have to find a place where you're able to be still and accept that. Next card out is love offer. Being asked out on a date, love to the next level, positive new love coming in, and a job offer you would love. So this, for those of you that are saying, I'm already in a relationship or I'm not interested in dating, that's fine. It could be, and I don't even think it just needs to be a job offer you'd love, but an invitation that is so exciting to you that it really gets you going in a wonderful way. We should all have things in our lives going on that make us so excited to wake up and get out of bed. For those of you who are single, be open to being asked out on a date. I know sometimes we're a bit bruised and battered from being in relationships, and we kind of go, I'm done with it all. But it's in those moments, because you've let go, that the universe sort of says, here you go. I'm going to present this person or this situation to you. So just don't be closed off to it. If you're in a relationship, this might be the week that things finally level up. And maybe it's not finally level up. They just do. They naturally have this moment where things sort of become a little more intense, or you're a little more committed. And I know with all of my relationships in the past, I can pinpoint certain moments in those relationships where things do just immediately become more serious. So just be open to that. And I know there was a reading a few weeks ago, and I talked about passion coming in, and I think it was a random card at the end of the the reading, and the person watching is a friend of mine, and he messaged me and he went, ugh, passion, what are you talking about? And I said, well, what do you have coming up this week? And he told me, and I said, well, this thing could lead to passion. And he laughed and said, we'll see. Let me just say it did. And they're having a great time right now. So my point of that is, don't be closed off. Just be open to what the universe is putting out there for you. Next card out is good news. Messages, text, phone call. Someone has something to say, needing to communicate clearly, be open to listening. So this all feels like a really positive week. And if you are being pulled, which can be incredibly frustrating, it can be completely disconcerting because you're all over the place. You've got to remember all the good things that are coming in. So whether it be a phone call or a message, which is incredible news, you also need to. So often people say, you're not listening. And you can hear someone and not be listening. You can hear them talking and not be taking in what's being said. So make sure that if you are the person that needs to listen, you are actually doing that. Make sure you are hearing what it is that the other person is saying, because even if it's something that you don't necessarily deem important, it's important to them, and you need to understand why it's important to them. We're all wired differently. We all need different things in this life, and we all function differently. I mean, human design shows that we are built differently, wired differently, and we are meant to move through this world in different ways. So be open to hearing whatever it is that that these people are saying. And if you are the one that needs to say something, make sure you are clear and direct in what you're saying and how you're saying it. And if the person isn't understanding, maybe you need to reword it. Maybe you need to find different words, and think about how it is you're getting the message across. There are people in my life who I'm very direct, and when I'm speaking to people, I will say, this is what I need, this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. And I am so clear and upfront. But what I've had to learn is not everybody can give me the resolution I need immediately. Sometimes they need to go away and process for 12, 24, maybe 48 hours, and then they can come back to me and we can finish the conversation, or there's resolution, or that is when they finally understand and have absorbed what it is I'm saying. So be sensitive to all of that. Again, I feel like the communication thing is a good space to be in, but it's also up to you and up to them about how the communication is happening. One of my favorite cards, our deep shadow work, witchcraft, magic, inner wisdom, spiritual evolution, learning hard lessons. So this whole communication thing, because I kind of went off on a tangent, and I just let the words and the thoughts come as they need to. I feel like this is part of the shadow work. The communication thing is something that's quite deep and important to master. And it's not always the easiest thing, because there are people on this earth that struggle with communication. They struggle to be able to voice what it is they need and what it is they want in this life. And I think that it's an incredibly important thing to master. The other thing is, listening is difficult. So often people are ready to respond with what they want to say next. So they may be quiet, but they're not listening. They're not listening to what's being said. They're just waiting for the gap in the conversation for them to say something. And if that is you, be aware of it and work on being present and hearing and listening to what is being said when the other people are talking. So I really do love the Owl card. And last week we did use the Know Your Shadow Self deck. I didn't pull that out today. You'll see what I pulled out in a moment. And if you've been watching me for long enough, you know that the shadow work is never done. Ever, ever, ever. I don't care how evolved you are. I don't care how much spiritual work you've done. The shadow work never stops. And honestly, I feel like the further we go down the path of healing ourselves and working on ourselves, the shadow work becomes more intense because we're able to go to a much, much deeper level. So just know that this is a week where we're being called to go back and look at that. And it doesn't always need to be the deepest, but there's always little things we can work on. And also the witchcraft magic line. Magic exists, so you have to believe in that. And I mean, learning the hard lessons, yeah, but I feel like this is more about inner wisdom and your spiritual evolution. This is more about growth. So I'm just going to pull one more card from this deck. I love that I'm seeing people here in the chat talking about how these how this reading is resonating with them already. That's incredible. So the final card out from this deck is Evil Eye. You are protected. Cleanse and protect your energy. Jealous people nearby. Careful who you trust. So I think this is more of a reminder that you are protected. But again, when you're being fragmented, so I'll put these two together. When you're being fragmented, it could be as a result of some of the people that you have around you. And so this is where you need to get very clear on what it is that's important to you, what tasks you feel are important to complete, and prioritize those. Because when you're being pulled in 100 different directions, you cannot possibly take care of everything. So if you are being pulled, have a look at what is important to you, prioritize that. And if there are people on the outskirts or on the periphery of all of this and they're throwing a fit and they think their thing is more important, protect yourself from those people, because if they are friends and if they care about you, they will understand. Even with work, when I was younger and I was climbing the ladder in a couple of my jobs, I prioritized work over everything else because I felt like I didn't have a choice. And then after losing a grandparent, because I was fortunate enough to grow up with all four of my grandparents and even one great grandparent, I realized how short life is and how quickly things and people can be taken away from you. So after that, family became my priority. If there was something going on, it wasn't a conversation with work. Can I do this or can I do that? I would announce what I was doing and I would do it. They could get on board or they couldn't or they wouldn't. And they would, do you know what? They always allowed me to go and take care of what I needed to take care of because I drew a hard line. So just know that if people value you, they'll take care of you. And if they don't, that's fine. And if it's about a job, there's plenty of other jobs out there. If this person is a friend and they're not understanding, they're not really a friend. So just make sure you're protecting your own energy in all of this. And yeah, just be aware of who's around you and make sure you're prioritizing the things, the people, and your peace over everything else. Okay, so we have the Deinse Linn Sacred Forest Oracle, Earth Spirit Stability. So this is a time to make sure that you are stable in the environment that you're in. So you're creating this space for yourself. And again, if you're fragmented, there's no stability there because you're being pulled in 100 different directions. So just know that this is up to you and you can create the stability for you and the people in your life. And that is what is most important, because when you have that stability, when you have that solid foundation, you are able to build something really incredible on top of it. If the foundation isn't stable, if the foundation isn't strong, everything you build on it is just going to collapse. So just keep that in mind. And second card out is Raven Spirit Truth. Oh, I should pull out my Raven Oracle. I love that deck. So truth, this comes back to the communication that you're being asked to be present for this week. So like I said to you before, whether it's your truth or somebody else's truth, you have to be open to hearing it and you have to be open to speaking the words that are important to you. for whatever is going on for you in your world, truth is going to be one of the most important themes of this week. And the final card out from the Sacred Forest Oracle is the Hummingbird Spirit, which is joy. I don't know about anybody else. So the first time, I think I'd probably seen hummingbirds before, but I hadn't realized. I thought they were moths because I was walking at dusk up in the Hollywood Hills. And then one night I finally realized they were hummingbirds and I got to see them. And to this day, I have lived in this country for 7.5 years. I still stop every time I see hummingbirds and just watch them, because there is this joyous feeling when they are around and they're flitting and they pause in the sky as their wings are going. So if you look at these 3 cards that have come out of the Sacred Forest Oracle, you've got stability, truth, and joy. To me, this is when you're able to create the stable environment that you need, and you use that, you keep that as a hard boundary. And I understand how difficult it can be sometimes to set boundaries, but it's so incredibly important that we do. When you speak your truth, when you hear other people's truth and you are able to honor it, or at least hear it and let them be heard, let them feel that there is somebody who is actually listening to them, and really honor that, there is joy on the other side. And so as difficult as it can be to be in that space, it's so incredibly important. And what you get on the other side is what everybody craves. We are going to finish up with one card from the Inner Child Oracle. I love this. I went to pull out something else and this kept jumping out. So I was like, all right, we need to do something to take care of ourselves. Run wild. Let your inner wild child run forth. I feel like we have been, the whole world has been nuts with all this war energy, the planetary alignments that are going on. It has been intense. And I think it's very easy to get caught up in the very sort of adult, we must achieve this, we must, and forget about the things that bring us joy. And if you look at this card, there is someone riding bareback on a horse. And to me, that is the epitome of freedom, being able to be on the back of a horse and just roaming this earth and having the most wonderful time. And even if you haven't ever been on a horse, maybe you've been on a motorbike, or maybe you've just ridden on a push bike really, really fast and you've got the wind hitting your face and blowing your hair and all of that. And it's the most freeing feeling in the world. And so make sure this week you take time to just let that inner child run free. I'm off to a dance class in a minute. Other people I know are dancing tonight. Other people are doing other things that are feeding their soul. So just go and do whatever it is that is going to bring out that level of joy in you and sort of set you up energetically for the week, or maybe make it a habit so that it's a constant thing and a constant reminder. But never stop running wild. I hope this reading resonated with some of you or all of you. As I always say, not every reading is for every person, but take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I know we had a few people who are watching me on High Vibe for the first time. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you got something out of this reading, and I hope to see you here again next week. And as always, have a wonderful week. And Anne, thank you so much.